Hi and welcome to hostvilla.com. Today I'll be showing you guys how to properly create private name servers. Most of you actually have a lot of issues all the time when creating private name server. I know it sounds simple, sounds easy, but there are many issues when it comes to private name server that it's throwing out errors, like when you're trying to point your domain name to the actual private name server that you created. You're getting a error that it says something like your private name server is not even properly registered. So today that's how exactly I'm gonna show you how to properly create that so that you won't run into these issues or your customer run to that issue. What we're gonna be doing is creating a private name server inside your mother registry where you bought your domain name, and then the second would be try to create those private name server inside WHM as well on your reseller side. You could also do that inside cPanel as well. You don't really need to do it just only in WHM, but you could also do it in cPanel. So today I'm going to be showing you all of those steps, how to do it. Now let's go ahead and start within the mother registry where we bought our domain name. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create two private name servers, which is the first one will be NS1, the second one will be NS2. So like right here we have I have a domain name called bunganetshop.com. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a private name server for it as NS1 bunganetshop.com and NS2 bunganetshop.com. So first thing we're gonna do is create a subdomain name for it, which is the NS1. Select bunganetshop NS1, then we're gonna hit OK. So we just created the NS1. Now we have to create the NS2. And go ahead and create NS2. Click OK. Now both private name servers are already been created. Now the next step we need to do is we need to point NS1 and NS2 to the private to the IP address, to the destination IP address as an A record. Now we're gonna have to select DNS, then edit DNS settings, and then we have to go to IP address A record, and we're gonna select other IP addresses. Now we type in the IP address on the box 50.22.24.176. that's for the NS1. Okay, we have created the NS1's IP address as an A record on it. Now we're gonna do the same thing with NS2. Edit DNS settings. Okay, now it's not loading right away. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing, other IP address 50.22.24.177. This is almost the same process wherever you bought your domain name. If you don't know how to create private name server, you could always ask your domain name provider to create the private name server for you and just have them point it to the A record, the private name the IP address to the private as an A record for your private name server. Usually GoDaddy, whatever big domain name guys, one-on-one actually sucks, so don't buy domain names from one-on-one. Okay, click OK, go back, and now that we have created both name servers, NS1 and NS2, we're gonna go ahead and point bunganetshop to ns1 ns2 bunganetshop.com, to the private name servers that we just created. Do you see like how it says domain registration is being requested? This is because it's not propagated yet. It could take from 2 hours to 24 or 48 hours to properly propagate. We could always check if this NS records are actually already registered. We could go to whois under verisign inc.com, which is the owner of .coms and .net. You could always check if this domain names are already properly propagated as a private name server by going to their whois and go to name servers. Then you type in the name server in there. Let's say this one, it's not gonna show that this is actually being registered yet. The fact that we just created this right now, so this is gonna take a while. See, when we search it, it's not gonna show any record of it because we just created this. It's gonna take a while, from 2 to 24 hours. It really depends on the registrar. I will show you to prove you guys that this is the proper way to create it, because once you actually create those private name server under your mother registry, it would actually show something like this. This is something that it's already been registered a long time ago, ns1.mainwhm.com. and if I search it here in verisignInc.com under their whois name server, it will show you name server. It says ns1 main whm IP address, and then registrar is under one-on-one internet. And like how I showed you guys, this one that we just created, it's still not gonna show because we just, you know, created that one. Now that we have created those private name server, let's go back and we need to point bunganetshop to ns1 and ns2 bunganetshop.com. Select that and then edit DNS settings. Then we're gonna go to right here. We're gonna change that ns1 and ns2 to the one that we just created, ns1.bunganetshop and then ns2.bunganetshop.com. We're gonna do this since this is our private name server. This is gonna be more white level hosting. Whoever your customers or whoever is trying to look you up in whois, they won't know who's your hosting provider. Okay, so we select OK. Oops. See how it says some invalid entries have been detected? Yes, this is the reason why, because the private name servers are new, but you're gonna have to do it once you already propagate. You have to select OK, and once that thing is propagated, it's already been registered, you'll be able to save this correctly. Because right now it's still showing some invalid entries been detected, because the fact that this private name server, it's new and it's not even registered under the whois yet. It's still not here. So now we're gonna have to go to WHM and actually throw in this ns1 and ns2, the same thing as what we did in bunganetshop right here under the mother registry. So we're gonna go to RWHM, and then we're gonna go to the DNS functions, and under DNS functions we're gonna go to edit DNS zone, and then we're gonna look for that bunganetshop. Okay, bunganetshop.com. Then we edit that, and you see how it still says ns3.com and then ns3, ns4. Well, we're gonna have to replace those to the ones that we actually just created. For the SOA, since we created ns1, it's very important you actually put ns1 in here. if you created NS1 as the primary, or if you created NS3 as your primary, then you're gonna have to put NS3. Paste that right there. Then for the NS3, we're gonna change this to NS1 Bunganet Shop, NS2 Bunganet Shop. And now we also still need to create those private name server under WHM for it to actually properly work. Then A record, we're gonna select A record in there. I have to put the A record again. Okay, now we're gonna put NS1. This will automatically stay as NS1.bunganet shop even though you just put in NS1. NS2. And now we're gonna have to put in the IP. The IP was 50.22.24 to 170. I believe that was 176. 50.22. Oh no, actually 23. Let me go ahead and take a look at that again. Announcements. Okay, yes, it's correct. 22 to 24. 176. Then what I'm going to do is Control V to paste it. And now, oops, this wrong here, MS. Okay, now that we have done that, we're gonna hit save, and there you go. That's how you properly create private name servers under WHM, and how to properly create name servers without getting an error later on for you or your client trying to point to your private name server.